Yo, what is going up, YouTube? It is Dez back with another video, and today we're going to be going over the first week of August trade recap. We did okay pretty much the whole week up until the end of the week, Friday, which was yesterday. Did pretty much okay. We were like halfway to the eval target, and then I ended up blowing most of that yesterday on two trades that I shouldn't have taken, to be honest. We'll get to that here in a moment, but I want to go over everything. I did not trade Monday. Unfortunately, I woke up a little bit late for that, and it was just decided to take the day off. It was pretty much towards end of market close for New York session, and I don't trade PM session at all, so I was not going to end up taking a trade. I'm going to hop over quickly to the journal so we can see. On Tuesday, I did end up taking two trades. One of them was a loss, and then one of them was a win. I was not that confident in the first trade, so honestly, shouldn't have happened, but it did. And essentially, it's where we are. Two trades I took were both 30-second trades. One was based off of a rejection, and then we did test a daily fair value gap and then end up retracing off of that fair value gap for a little bit. I was not confident in shorts at all, to be honest with you. All the DOLs were looking to be much higher. We did have, from what I believe, we had if I come down here, a 1 hour, we had a daily internal high and then a 1 hour fair value gap above from where market opened, if I'm not mistaken. We ended up printing much higher. As you can see from market open, we did have a little bit of accumulation, and then we did want to see that come higher. I myself wanted to see us create a sweep of liquidity down here into this 1 hour gap, which we didn't quite get. We did get pre-market. We did tap off of that twice, and then we came up, created a small internal high right up there, came down and accumulated and manipulated down, and then we distributed higher. Most people who did take this trade, or people that I saw take this trade, did end up entering off of this 30-second close right up here, because we did break structure with the internal high, and then we did trade all the way up. I believe this was a daily fair value gap, if I'm not mistaken, but we did have the daily internal high right before, which is marked out right here. And personally myself, I was looking for I was looking to enter longs after we took the internal high right here. I was pretty confident that we were going to continue higher, but for some reason, I kind of got FOMO and didn't want to miss out on it. So I did end up taking a 30-second short. We created this fair value gap right here on the 30-second. We did wick up way past it and have a huge rejection off of that. So that gave me a little bit of confluence, but to be honest, the trade was based off pretty much nothing. We traded down after this candle close. I did want to see us at least continue lower to 50% of the range before we continued higher. So I wasn't looking to short everything on the day, but I did want to see the 50-second or the 50% range, which was just about where my TP was at. Did come up and inverse that 30-second gap before that I had taken, so we did get stopped out there. That was about a $300 or $400 loss. I've been trading 5 micros, just trying to pass this eval. And then from there, I kind of had it click in my mind that we were going to go higher. This is the exact trade that I kind of wanted to see if we were going to go higher. So I did get a late entry on it. Probably should have entered right off this candle after the inverse, which most people actually did, and then they just took a 1-to-1 up to, I believe they're deleted now, but there was some, I believe there's a 1 hour gap or some external highs or something like that up here. So we did come up and we did take one of them, but not the second one. So I did get trailed out. I was up quite a bit unrealized, and we pretty much edged my TP, to be honest. It wasn't an exact 1-to-1, but we edged my TP. I got a little bit scared and moved my stop loss up, and then it got trailed out obviously from there. I believe we did make some profit on the day, but it wasn't much. It was something like $200 or $300, which I can actually come and take a look at. Tuesday, I actually did not make any profit. I had actually lost coming right off the weekend, so it wasn't that much compared to the profit that I already made, so I wasn't tweaking too much about that. And then we will hop into Wednesday here. Wednesday was another pretty, it was a good day for following some rules, but I didn't follow them exactly as I'd wanted. So it was frustrating for me because I followed rules while I was in a trade, but I didn't follow the rules to get into the entry for the trade, so that was just on me. Again, took 2 trades on the day. My goal is typically 1 trade a day, but I allow myself 2 trades, up to 2 losses or 1 win on the day. So if I just take a trade and immediately get a win, hop off, or if I take a trade and take a loss, I scale down 50% and then I take another trade. And it has to be, or close to, ideally it has to be A+ setup, but mental side of things sometimes doesn't allow me. For me, I was pretty confident in these. Like I said, I took 2 trades. 1 was a loss, 1 was a win. So we did have a 5-minute rejection right after the open. We actually created this 5-minute gap right before market open. As soon as market opened, ripped up to the buy side, came up and tapped this fair value gap here. I was honestly just trying to catch something again, to be honest, after we'd already inversed that leg up here. If I were to have taken a trade, looking back, it should have been somewhere in the range of that 30-second inverse, which I can pull up here. If we come all the way back to Wednesday, that is PM session, and then 30 seconds, 6 a.m. Boom, right here. Okay. So again, took 2 trades. This is, if I were to have entered somewhere, it probably should have been here on the 30-second inverse, because we did create that gap coming down off of the 5-minute, and then we did inverse that coming up. If anything, I probably would have gone up here and then caught a short break even. So if anything, I would have got break evened on the trade. But we did end up coming down and creating an SMT. We did tap that 5-minute gap one more time with some really good displacement. And I believe actually most people kind of ended up taking this loss here if they did take a loss that day. Came down, created an SMT down here with ES. I'm not going to scroll all the way back, but we did, I believe SMT, ES did not clear these lows right here. So we created an SMT there, and then we did have this gap here, which most people, again, I believe I caught a late entry after this candle closed. This one kind of ripped up and then came back down, and I caught an entry. This is where we did have 2 internal highs here as well. On these, you can see This was actually pre-market. I marked out these 2 internal highs. I was really hoping to see the second one get cleared through as well, just as a kind of confirmation of liquidity. But we did only take out the 1. So I did actually manually close out this second trade again, which was a 30-second trade. Took that, got the late inversion. My stop was somewhere down here, I believe, on this small, tiny 30-second fair value gap there. I essentially, when I set my stops, I just set it to where I believe the trade would be invalidated. It's not necessarily a P&L kind of stop loss, if you will. It's not money-based or tied to a dollar amount unless I'm within a funded account. Then I'll limit myself to 250, 500 a day, something like that. Ended up coming down a little bit, and then we did trade all the way back up. Here I was pretty confident that we were going to hit my TP, so trailed up to a break even right up there, and then you will see I did kind of wait through the chop a little bit, and then as we came back up and failed to take it again, I was getting a little bit weary, so I was looking for some extra confirmation on what might be there. I didn't really see anything, any rejection blocks or anything. And then as we came down, I kind of figured we weren't going to clear that second high, and I did manually close out that trade. Since I'd taken the first loss, which I don't think I should have taken, to be honest with you, was I think, as you saw earlier, we did end up pretty much breaking even on the day, down $30, not a big deal. And then the third day that we took, Thursday, was it was an okay day, to be honest. I probably should have taken more, but I will get into that here in a moment. Boom. Then as you can see on the journal, this is on Thursday. Again, 2 trades on the day, 1 loss, 1 win. If I'm being completely honest on this, I should have only taken the win on this one. Pretty much FOMO'd into a trade right off of market open. It was pretty much based off of nothing. My confluences, trade 1 based off pretty much nothing. And then trade 2, we had the 15-minute fair value gap fill, 1 hour fair value gap fill, session lows, and LRL above. This was actually a pretty good day for me, just like looking at the charts, kind of getting back into the swing of things. If I'm going to come back over to Thursday. All right, and then coming into Thursday, I was pretty confident in our draws on liquidity. As you can see, we actually had a session highs and lows, bunch of generated low resistance liquidity, and then a 1 hour fair value gap above, which I was pretty confident that we were going to hit. We had actually traded down overnight into, I believe, a 4 hour fair value gap. It's a 1 hour fair value gap. We actually ended up trading down into this. I take a lot of trades, or tend to take a lot of trades on the 30-second time frame, so a lot of these will be on that 30-second. First trade that we had right up here, again, pretty much FOMO, stupid trade I shouldn't have taken, but I did end up taking a loss on this. We had a 30-second fair value gap that we had opened up pre-market, and then we actually, right at like 9:30 close, we had a inverse. We had an inverse of that 30-second fair value gap, and based off previous market experience and how the markets have been trading recently, I thought we were just going to pretty much shoot up right to these internal highs, LRL, and kind of just take all the draws, which we pretty much did end up doing, but just not right away. We created a small little Judas swing down here, actually fully filled a 15-minute and this 1 hour fair value gap, so that just gave me even more confidence. And actually, I believe this was a 1 minute trade. Yes. So this one was a 1 minute trade for me. We ended up inversing this fair value gap and first presented fair value gap in that Judas leg. I should have entered right on that close, but market actually was moving pretty fast here. So I did get a little late of an entry. We had two internal highs up here, and then obviously all the LR and everything there. I actually did end up, I believe, I actually ended up getting stopped out here. I did take profit, but I did not have, I just, like my mental on this day was a little bit weird. So we came up after we fully closed past the internal high right here. I went break even, and then we came up pretty much edged TP, and I was pretty like hesitant because of the reversal that we were going to have, just to come back and retrace. And then once we came and went all the way up to this second internal high, I actually trailed my stop up to where my break even point was at that second internal high, because we had come up. I honestly should have just left my trade down at break even. We did retrace just a little bit and then went up and smacked TP, and then the rest of the day cleared all those highs and low resistance liquidity up to this second 1 hour gap right up here. So it could have been a very good day for me. I would have been pretty much past the eval on this account, and that was a pretty rough day. Not rough, but I should have had more profits if I was, a little bit better on the mental side of things. And now we are going to get into Friday's price action. If you trade at all, Friday was kind of dog shit. And for me, I was about 1,000 up on the eval on by Friday morning. So pretty much essentially halfway done with the eval stage of that account. I was looking to actually be really close and be maybe 1 or 2 trades away. Unfortunately, we did end up taking 2 losses on Friday, and I'll get into that here in a moment. We had on Friday pre-market bunch of generated low resistance liquidity coming up, and we had only been creating higher highs, lower lows up until just about 6 a.m. On about New York Open if you get up very early. And then we still had a 1 hour fair value gap right down below. We also had NFP on Friday, so I was really hoping to see the data lows get either ran through or wicked through. So I was really looking for a bearish trade. For me, we had the 5 minute and then the data lows, so I either want to see the 5 minute get tapped into or the data lows ran and then come up to the 5 minute, or reverse if we do the 5 minute and then data lows. We did end up tapping off of the 5 minute, and then we came down, and most people actually took, which was right here. We had a 3 minute inverse. We created a small little fair value gap coming up to the 5 minute, and then a inverse down here. Now, the key for me was that I did not catch the inverse because I primarily, when I do my charting, I chart out on MNQ because that is what I'm trading. A lot of people like to chart out on NQ or ES and not MNQ and MES for some reason. It's more confluences for them, I guess, but for me, I just think that that's too much to pay attention to, and I just chart out on M and Q. So for me, I believe the 3 minute, if we come back to the 3 minute, we actually had, we did create the fair value gap, but for me, I was hesitant because we came all the way down and wicked all the way back up. So for me, that just shows a rejection. And I was not confident, and if we wanted to go higher, I wanted to see us displace through the 5 minute. So we actually did end up coming down, but we didn't clear anything, and we actually have like created kind of like this low resistance here. And then we came back up to the 5 minute, and then back down, and then back up to the 5 minute, just showing me that we were respecting that 5 minute gap. So I didn't want to see or take any trades while we're just kind of bouncing around and handling all of that just barcode kind of price action. On ES, we did actually create an SMT. ES was pretty much the same thing. We were actually sitting a lot lower during this price action. We were sitting a lot lower in the leg on this price action, and I believe we had actually pretty much already come down to the data lows candle, just not the wick. And then for me, NQ and ES on the, I believe on the 30-second time frame or 1 minute time frame, actually created an SMT here. And then we actually ended up trading lower, really without any entry that I would have liked to have seen. So I didn't take a trade, but I was pretty confident in the DOL. So I FOMO'd into 2 trades, to be honest with you, which is where a lot of my stuff gets taken wrong here. So we did end up coming down, and it looked like we were pretty much just going to flush down through the draw. So I entered a 30-second short, a 1 minute short actually. We came down, created a tiny little gap here. In my opinion, and in hindsight, I should have waited for us to come into the first presented gap, because first presented gap, in my experience, has always been the thing that tends to get tapped into first, either on retrace or if we're looking for continuation. So hindsight, I should have been looking out for that, but I didn't want to run through data lows and not get an entry. So kind of FOMO'd into one. We came up, and on my entry here, on my entry here, after this candle closed, I was just looking for us to just come and run that. And that would have put me up about an extra 500 or 600 on the day with the 5 micros. And then we actually came up. One more candle on this candle close. I believe I entered because we had already taken that 1 minute. And then I set my stop loss right in the middle, or close to a CE of this fair value gap, and then we just ran up, got stopped out there, and then ended up running to the draw. So pretty unfortunate day there. We did end up taking data lows. Looking back as well, even if I didn't catch anything to the data lows, I think I should have just waited till we ran 2 data lows and then waited for a draw up to the 5 minute, because at end of right before like lunch, 11:30ish, we did end up running to that draw of the 5 minute, and then actually coming pretty close to clearing the high. I think we did clear that over the weekend here, or coming into the weekend. But either way, one of my key takeaways is waiting for my draws and just not FOMOing into trades. For me, it seems like patience is going to be one of the biggest things that that leads me to passing this account and then just becoming profitable overall. So that is going to wrap up my weekly recap. I will see y'all in the next video.